So, welcome back to Carl Travels. We're going to do a video on the cost of living in Thailand. And we're going to choose one of the most popular places in Thailand because this is where a lot of people choose to go. You will find the prices of the different places are relatively the same, but you will find certain places maybe a little more expensive than the other. So we're going to go with the prices on Phuket Island, what it costs to hire a apartment or a hotel for a month's time. Now we could choose somewhere like Koh Samui or Koh Phangan, but I just want to be a bit more on the general broad scale of things because I know that certain people go to these countries looking for a price on long-term living. This is more a price of maybe 1 to 2 to 3 months, depending on if you want to get a visa or whether you just kind of want to stay there for a month or two holiday and then move on to the next Southeast Asian country. So let's go through the prices of all the things and how much it's actually going to cost for you to live there.
First and foremost, let's talk accommodation. Phuket or Thailand offers a wider range of options to suit every budget. You can find modest guest houses and hostels starting at around 400 to 500 Australian dollars per month, while more luxurious villas or beachfront resorts can go from up to about 1,400 Australian dollars. Now on average, you're looking at around 1,200 AUD for a comfortable stay. If you're willing to live on the cheap, hostels are a fantastic option to save some bucks. Now when it comes to meals, dining in Phuket is pretty affordable, especially if you're open to trying the local street food. A typical meal at a street vendor can cost as little as $1 to $2, while dining out at a mid-range restaurant might set you back around 5 to 10 Australian dollars per meal. Now of course, if you opt for the finer dining experiences, prices can go higher. Now let's talk about drinks. Thailand is famous for its fruit shakes and cheap beers. A fruit shake from a side vendor can range from around $1 to $2, while local beer at a bar or restaurant might range from 2 to 4 Australian dollars. Now, if you prefer imported or fancier drinks, expect to pay quite a bit more actually. Transportation and getting around is pretty inexpensive, especially if you're using share taxis or motorbikes. You can use an app like Grab, where the prices can be quite affordable. There will be many taxis trying to rip you off, if I'm completely honest. One of the best days to get around is you can hire a motorbike anywhere from about $5 to $10 per day. Now look, something to consider, when you're on holiday, you might tend to overspend as things seem cheaper instead of cooking at home. You might find yourself eating out 3 times a day and probably drinking quite a bit more. The tendency to overspend can significantly impact your overall budget for the month, so keep that in mind. So here's a little tip. If you're looking to save more, consider traveling during off-peak seasons. During these times, you may be able to save an additional $200 to $300 a month on accommodation, whether you're staying in hostels or hotels. So let's compile all these expenses into a total cost for a month in Phuket. Assuming on average the accommodation costs around 1,200 Australian per month. Now this is if you're just going on a website like booking.com. If you actually want to go out and try locally source some different prices, you can find something as cheap as maybe $500 a month.
One thing I should mention is I've traveled Thailand about 9 different times now. Each time I stayed anywhere between 1 to 2 months, and as an Australian, you get a 30-day visa free. Any longer than that, you will have to apply for a visa, or you just come in and come out and do your typical visa run. Now, it is fairly cheap to do these visa runs. You just have to fly to a different Asian country nearby. That can cost you anywhere from $30 up to $200 depending on which country you go to and at what time of year. I would like to note, even though these places are much cheaper than Australia or Western countries, one thing to note is that when you are in these places, you do actually tend to overspend just because of how cheap everything is. And so sometimes you feel like, great, I'm living in luxury, but then you'll end up going out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner 3 times a day and ordering all those extra drinks or cocktails or just kind of indulging in everything. While it is all cheap, you do have lots of other things to kind of indulge in, and not to mention, if you are there on holiday, you want to go have some of those holiday experiences. So let's factor these things into the accommodation and the prices there. Now, I know with one of my last videos, I'm leaving Australia, a lot of people did mention that they were planning on moving to Southeast Asia. So I thought this video might be helpful for those people wanting to try that lifestyle. Anyway, if you found this useful, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. And we'll see you next time. Keep on traveling and keep on adventuring.